It was October 23rd of 2025. Drivers on the outskirts of Balikpulau, Malaysia, were going about their day, careful not to slip on the wet streets. It had been raining for several hours, and things were extremely slick. However, while their eyes were focused on the road, something stirred in the hills over their heads.
Batu. Tak boleh, kita tak payah di sini. Kita kena patah balik. Habis. Astagfirullahaladzim, takutnya.
According to authorities, nobody was hurt, and only one car sustained minor damage when the landslide blocked the road. In hindsight, they were lucky. When it was over, somebody found a 4-foot boulder in the middle of the street that could have easily flattened a passing car. An investigation determined that heavy rain and strong winds had caused the landslide that day. In the end, the road was closed until further notice as cleanup crews worked to clear the debris. In late June of 2026, heavy monsoon rains led to several flash floods and landslides across India's northeastern states. In Arunachal Pradesh, a biker was riding along a muddy road when the ground began shaking below him. Moments later, a freak landslide took him for a wild ride. Luckily, the man was unharmed as the road remained intact during the landslide. He's lucky too, because if the mound of dirt above him had shifted, he would have been buried instantly. The landslide went on to dam the CG River, which created a new set of problems. If the land dam breaks, the rushing water could easily overwhelm the riverbed, leading to more flash floods downstream. The state of Arunachal Pradesh was the first of several to suffer in the wake of relentless rain. Flash floods washed away homes, roads, and bridges, leaving many people stranded without a way out. Hekoyao is an autonomous county in Yunnan province, China. It's home to roughly 102,000 people, some of whom needed a new place to stay in mid-October of 2025. Rain had been falling all month, culminating in what felt like an endless storm on October 21st. All that water weakened the soil on a mountain that overlooked one of the smaller communities on the outskirts of town. This apartment building never stood a chance. It's unclear if anyone was inside the building when it collapsed. According to local authorities, rescue crews were dispatched to the area immediately after the landslide. After the search, everyone was accounted for, and there were no significant injuries or casualties. Luckily, the area was prepared for something like this. After all the rain on October 21st, authorities had issued a Level 3 geological disaster risk warning, noting the high likelihood of a devastating landslide. Mount Elbrus, the summit of the Caucasus Mountains and a long-dormant stratovolcano, is the highest peak in Russia and Europe, rising over 18,500 feet above sea level. It's been about 2,000 years since Elbrus last erupted. Then, on August 1st of 2025, those living in its shadow thought the volcano had woken up. Warning alarms blared as a torrent of mud and debris raced down the mountain and towards the town of Tirnaus and its 21,000 people. Some only escaped with seconds to spare.
К нам идет мост.
Офигеть!
The powerful mudslide damaged water infrastructure in the town, leaving roughly 3,000 people without access to clean water. And while they were thirsty, nobody was injured or lost during the event. As for what caused the landslide, Russian authorities blamed it on heavy rains the day prior. Now, remove all the mud and replace it with molten hot lava. If Mount Elbrus ever erupts again, this might be a preview of what it could look like. Shimla, India is the capital and the largest city in the Himalayan state of Himachal Pradesh. It's built high in the mountains, with an average altitude of over 7,200 feet above sea level. Many buildings are on hillsides, making them extremely landslide prone, especially after periods of heavy rain. One such period struck in mid-August of 2023, causing the ground beneath many buildings to collapse. As a result, the exposed foundations began to weaken under the weight of everything above. It was only a matter of time before it all came crashing down.
नहीं आऊंगा तो फिर सेफ है ये रहा है ना थोड़ा चली गया चली आओ चली गया बस मिनट रहा काम हां वो गड्डी ओ घर भी डरी गया सोच रहा ओ कार हुई गड्डी वो यार भाई पीछे यो भाई पीछे हटा पीछे हटा वो कुछ चल रहे ओ यार गया हो गया ओ यार
गया
स्लाइडर
गया
ओ होई
ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਵਾਂ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਸੀ ਘਰ ਹੱਲੇ ਨਵਾਂ ਘਰ ਸੀ ਇਹ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਗਿਆ
ओ
ਫਲੈਟ ਹਾਊਸ ਭਾਈ
Intense rainfall had impacted thousands of people in Himachal Pradesh and the neighboring state of Uttarakhand. Many families watched their homes and livelihoods float away as landslides and flash flooding plagued the area. In Shimla, 80 people perished during various floods and landslide events, making it one of the worst affected areas at the time. Economic losses in Himachal Pradesh exceeded $1.2 billion. Over 2,200 homes were obliterated, while more than 10,000 others were damaged in some capacity. Livestock was another story, with nearly 10,000 poultry birds and over 6,000 cattle gone. On August 5th of 2025, devastating landslides and flash floods nearly wiped the village of Darali, India off the face of the earth. While what caused the event is up for debate, nobody is arguing how much damage it left in its wake.
गाड़ी को आके जा रही है इसमें आदमी है यार इसमें आदमी है क्या
हाँ गाड़ी है गाड़ी देखो वो देखो गाड़ी आदमी पूरा भरा हुआ है आदमी है इसमें आदमी है
उसमें
हाँ आदमी है आदमी पूरा देखो
आदमी है यार उसमें
आदमी है उसमें
The Darali disaster resulted in 94 injuries, 61 fatalities, and 84 missing people. Roughly 251,000 tons of debris buried parts of the town, destroying nearly 60% of its infrastructure and causing a partial damming of the Bhagirathi River. As for what caused the disaster, scientists are currently split. Some believe it was a cloudburst event, which is when a cloud releases a large amount of rain in a short amount of time. Think of it like a giant water balloon popping over the city. Other theories suggest it was a glacial lake outburst flood high in the mountains. Some reports point to a significant avalanche or glacier collapse that may have caused the Kir-Ganga River to burst its banks. From there was only one direction all that water could go. Kaladi is a small town in Kerala, India, located along the banks of the Periyar River. It's home to roughly 24,000 people, almost all of whom were scrambling for higher ground on July 7th of 2026. Intense rainfall in the Wayanad district had set the stage for a devastating landslide and flash flood event. Unfortunately, one happened so quickly that the locals never saw it coming. CCTV cameras were rolling as the rain kept falling on Kaladi. Two locals were standing outside a restaurant, watching an oil tanker brave the murky water. Suddenly, a man runs from the restaurant, clearly panicked. Everyone starts looking toward the tanker and the mountain further ahead. Without warning, a torrent of water races down, sending one distant man running for his life. It's hard to tell how fast it's moving, which is why the folks in the foreground don't seem too worried. But they will be soon. The flood smashes into the ground and picks up a bus like a bath toy. Locals run for their lives as the murky wave approaches, but they'll never run fast enough. It pushes the oil truck and knocks 4 people off their feet. For a moment, we lose them all in the muck. The man in blue was pushed off camera and managed to walk away. While things looked bad for the couple, both were able to stand and retreat into the restaurant. Finally, the 4th man in purple can be seen emerging from the mud right here. He was filthy, but ultimately okay. According to reports, the landslide occurred near the under-construction Kaladi tunnel site and injured 5 workers. Remember, that isn't just water racing down the road. It's full of rocks and debris that can cause serious injuries, or worse. Everyone in this clip was extremely lucky, especially the 2 in the middle who narrowly missed the oil truck and the green Jeep. On July 20th of 2026, extreme rainfall triggered flash flood and landslide warnings in several regions of eastern Afghanistan. Among the most heavily impacted areas was the town of Parun, the capital of Nuristan province. Relentless rain made the city more landslide-prone than it already was, given its location in the Hindu Kush mountain range. Before the inevitable happened, a town-wide warning went out, telling everybody to seek higher ground.
Tupag dito siya ka.
Preliminary information out of Afghanistan suggests that over 900 families were impacted during the storms. Sadly, 31 people had perished, 11 were injured, and 77 others were missing. Homes and human life aside, the floods also caused untold amounts of economic damage. Farms across the region lost 330 livestock and over 2,600 acres of land. When it comes to devastating landslides, Indonesia is no stranger. According to internal disaster data, landslides have only gotten worse and more prevalent over the past few decades. They estimate that over 108 million people live in vulnerable districts across the island nation. That's almost half the country. On June 26th of 2020, locals along the Trans-Sulawesi Road watch in horror as Mother Nature reclaimed part of their hillside village. Watch as she splits the community in half, leaving locals stranded on either side. Thankfully, nobody was hurt or lost during the landslide. However, it did destroy the only connecting road between the cities of Palopo and Tanah Toraja, meaning those in need would have to wait even longer for aid. According to reports, heavy rains had battered the area in the days leading up to and after the landslide. Roughly 220 homes were flooded and over 1,100 people were affected. The Hadramaut Governorate is a massive mountainous region on the Arabian Peninsula. As the largest of Yemen's 21 states, it's home to roughly 2.2 million people, many of whom live in mud brick villages built between steep mountain ranges. On July 17th of 2024, a freak rock slide on one of those mountains threatened to flatten the village below.
يا لطيف الطبنا فيما نزل الحمد لله دار بزعاقي ما شقدها اوه يا لطيف يا الله خلاص هذا اللي احنا خايفين منه خرج ان شاء الله الديار هذا سليمه كلها الحمد لله الديار سليمه كلها الديار سليمه ان شاء الله خلاص هذا هو اخر حاجه اللي خايفين شو عاد صدع تم معلق فوق. اوه حول الله. لكن الحمد لله ان شاء الله انه معاش بعد هذا. دار بدعاقي سليمه كل الجور ذاك سليم. خلاص. هذا الحصار الكبير اللي الدخن اللي احنا خايبين منه خرجت. وبقي عاد نص فوق هنا. بقي نص. يا لطيف يا لطيف لا حول ولا قوه الا بالله. لكن الحمد لله الديار سليمه.
Luckily, nobody in Basim village was hurt during the rock slide. However, all of them reported feeling it, especially when the largest of the rocks rolled by the community. Somehow, it missed all the buildings and only damaged several trees on its way down. As for what caused the rock slide, one local geologist said that recent rainfall had oversaturated the soil. In his opinion, cracks in the mountainside could easily lead to future collapses, and he advised those living in at-risk areas not to return to their homes. Another geologist believed the July collapse, as well as other collapses, was due to a lack of uniformity in the limestone, clay, and water-saturated sandstone layers. In lay terms, we're guessing that means that the whole thing is rather unstable. Nanyang, China is a prefecture-level city in southwestern Henan province. It lies within the Nanyang Basin, which itself lies in the gap between the eastern end of the Qin Mountains and the source of the Huai River. Many mountainous roads connect the rural villages to the main city. Some of those villages were cut off from the rest on February 13th of 2022, when a massive landslide blocked the road with many metric tons of rock and debris. An alternative angle shows us what it looked like from across the ravine. Watch as boulders fly down the mountain and explode in the river below. Thankfully, nobody was hurt during the landslide, as local authorities saw the warning signs and blocked the road before it ever started. The real challenge in these situations is knowing when it's safe to start clearing the debris. Local crews want to reopen the road as soon as possible, but they can't risk causing another landslide. When landslides occur, especially on the forested mountains of central China, they tend to leave a noticeable scar in their wake. They also tend to destroy everything in sight, like this landslide on October 18th of 2025 that demolished a concrete building at the base of a mountain in Yunqi County. Luckily, the building was empty before it was flattened by Mother Nature. Given their frequency in China, locals tend to know when something like this is about to happen. Most happen after earthquakes or periods of extreme rainfall. It's unclear what triggered this one, but we're leaning toward the latter option. Landslides can strike anywhere at any time. Just ask these shepherds in the hills of northern Pakistan, who were just trying to get an early morning jump on the day's chores. It was around 2:30 a.m. when they heard a rumbling in the mountains overlooking their respective farms. Instantly, they knew something bad was about to happen, so they ran to warn everybody else in the village. By 6:30, all the nearby families had evacuated to higher ground. Then, moments later, this happened. According to eyewitnesses, floodwater and landslide debris filled the village within minutes. By mid-morning, people were stranded on their roofs, waiting for rescue workers to come and save them. At first, volunteers braved the floodwaters to pull people out. Thankfully, an army helicopter arrived shortly after and took over the rescue operation. But by then, the damage was done. The flood had destroyed over 300 homes in Pakistan's Gilgit-Baltistan region, along with many acres of farmland. Thankfully, everyone was able to escape unharmed. As for what caused the disaster, reports indicate that a freak glacial lake outburst flood was the culprit. While exploring the mountains of northern India in June of 2012, a hiker and his team stumbled upon a road that had caved in due to a landslide. They waited, knowing that another could strike at any moment. For the next several hours, they remained stranded on one side of the event as rocks and debris kept coming down the mountain. On the bright side, the hikers were able to capture some stunning up-close and personal landslide footage.
chances of letting the road and increasing by every...
Yeah, what they were saying is that they need to wait till the water will stop raining, and then
You hear the force. Even though it's raining, it can happen again. Not very safe.
The landslide finally stopped after several hours, but that didn't mean they could cross. Now they had to wait for the proper authorities to arrive and clear a safe road. Overall, the team had seen 5 other landslides on their trip, but this one topped them all. Landslides don't always happen all at once. Sometimes, Mother Nature needs to take a few baby steps before she really gets moving. A landslide in Xinjiang, China proved that theory on August 17th of 2025, while 2 spectators filmed from higher ground.
Wow.
这不震撼吗？这。
哇塞！哇！妈呀！
比我们这差了。
靠，离远点走。
它本来
谁知道呢
就要远点
谁知道呢？
别停了。没了，别停了。那已经不会再塌了。别停了，快走快走。
According to reports, the landslide occurred in the Anihigh Grand Canyon, which was formed millions of years ago by the Anihigh River as it slowly eroded the land over time. This clip is a real-time example of what that erosion looks like. Now, picture this happening thousands of times over millions of years. There's obviously more to it, but that's basically how you get canyons like these. Mus in Passayer is a small village in northern Italy, not far from the Austrian border. It's home to 2,174 people, 99.5% of whom speak German. 9 speak Italian, and according to Wikipedia and some quick math, 1 person speaks a Romance language called Ladin. All of them were speaking the same language on February 22nd of 2016, when a large-scale rockfall sent a loud crack echoing over the mountains of northern Italy.
Porca troia, viene tutto. Porca troia!
According to the cameraman, the rockfall occurred at a construction site outside the city. Apparently, they were trying to build a protective wall, but Mother Nature beat them to the punch. Thankfully, everyone was okay and none of their equipment was damaged. We're guessing they saw the rock face beginning to crack and figured it would be a good time to record. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more just like it, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thank you all for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.